Zan, Reanimator. We've got Unburial Rites and our gal Elesh Norn here at the top end of the curve. We've got Thragtusk as well as Angel of Sanctions for some additional value out of the discard pile. And then we've got a whole bunch of self-mill here. We've got Stitcher Supplier, Grisly Salvage, Mire Triton, Calls the Dead here. We've got Goose to help ramp us up and fix our mana a little bit, because remember, you can't actually just hard cast this card as well. We've got some interaction and Thoughtseize. Then out of the sideboard, we've got some more spot removal for aggro decks and some Shifting Ceratops for the control decks. Ooh, I don't hate that suggestion. Rider's also a threat that pairs with Elesh Norn. Let's try that. We got a bunch of cheap things, and we got a bunch of like 2-mana removal spells on the board. Let's try a couple of Riders over Blood Chief's Thirst. One card, by the way, I feel like I just need to remind people is legal in this format, that we're gonna have to try in something at some point, is this card exists. And I don't know if this is the right deck for it, but at some point, we are gonna Grisly Salvage into Roar of the Worm. And I don't know if it's gonna be good, but it's gonna be great. But this could honestly be a consideration for this deck because of all of our self-mill. So that's just gonna be, I don't know, I'm not gonna put it into start, but it's something we might try at some point this set. Every deck is right for Salvage Worm. Maybe. Yeah, could be a consideration for Black-Green Magecraft, for sure. Brazen Borrower isn't super popular in this format. Hey, Relocate. Hello to my favorite Twitch community. Tomorrow's my birthday, and I'm glad I get to take the day off and can catch Jeff live. I'll be live tomorrow on your birthday, too. If you're looking for something to watch tomorrow, happy early birthday. Brian Rutherford joining the very small, very elite group of Hoaglandians who have a Jester hat of their very own at 60 months. Good morning and welcome. Welcome back. Been a hot second. I think I want to throw this back. We have a lot of cards that mill us, and this just doesn't have any of them. Yeah, this is much better. I think I'm gonna bottom the Goose in the dark, or we're gonna be sad if they're an aggressive deck, though. What if we just take Land War Elves, slow them down? This card's an instant, by the way. Oh, I guess they have Scavenging Ooze. Maybe I was supposed to take Scavenging Ooze. That's probably what I was supposed to do. Can't imagine 5 years streaming. I've only been going for 9 months. Well, that's just 5 years of partner, basically. I've been streaming and making content for close to a decade. This was a cut, Dr. Mister. Bob doesn't wait in lines. Yeah, I should have taken the Scavenging Ooze. I get to play and eat my Elesh Norn next turn. That was a punt. For the 49 months, Sandman. Hey, 7fet. Thanks for the 21. You started on Justin TV. I think Justin TV was more than a decade ago at this point, right? Maybe I'm a little shy of a decade. It's close though. I'm an ancient relic chat. My Twitch channel was created, yeah, almost a decade ago, May 1st, 2012, 9 years, over 9 years. Yeah, Justin TV must have been over a decade ago, right? (2007 to 2014). I think we've died shit. Yeah. Big mistake on my part not taking the skews. What's kind of funny is that if I recall correctly, Twitch was split off from Justin TV because they didn't want gaming in with all of the other live streaming stuff that they were doing there. And then Justin TV ended up kind of wallowing and gaming took off. And now Twitch is kind of evolving back in that direction with various IRLs and hot tubs and all that jazz, where they like pushed back in the direction of kind of re-encompassing what Justin was doing. Yesterday, you mentioned in the Fright set, the Citrus Supplier is a bad card. What makes it different in this deck? Because a viewer sent me this deck. I am not convinced that Citrus Supplier is a good card that is worth playing. It is a card that I've been whelmed by. One thing that is worth noting that is different about this deck than the Frights deck we played yesterday was the Frights deck we played yesterday gets to play Faithless Looting, which is a cheap enabler, and this is a different cheap enabler when we don't have Faithless Looting in this deck. So my own personal draft of Abzan, I don't think I'd include this card to start, but I could see merit in having it be worth testing because we don't have a cheap enabler like Faithless Looting. How much for a hot tub stream? I don't know. I don't have an actual hot tub either. And my tub that has jets in it up in my upstairs bathroom, I think the seal on it technically is leaky. We've actually never used that tub. I remember the home inspector telling us there was something wrong with it that we'd need to get fixed if we wanted to use it, so we just haven't used it. Vade Seth, thanks for the third of the year. I appreciate that. Welcome back. We could use one of the kids' pools. We have a couple of kids' pools, so I can take adorable pictures like these. Isn't she cute, chat? In her little sun hat. She's adorable. She likes her tiny child pool. Definitely discreet. I also don't use stuff that people tell me needs to be fixed first. Yep. Yikes. Go to sleep. Go to sleep. Go to sleep, Reanimator. Do-do-do, do-do-do. Do-do-do-do-do-do-do. Yeah, we're gonna just be on the fair creature gameplay this game. Just don't mind us casting our threats. I think I'm gonna go ahead and salvage here in case we had a tapped land. Wow, no land at all. Yikes. I guess we'll take the goose. There's already a photo of Jeff topless on the internet. There is. But I made sure to only post it from when I looked good, chat. It's like 19-year-old Jeff pre-dad bod topless. Hey, what's going on, Unk? Thanks for the quarter of year. Your daughter has a similar outfit. It's nice. It's a cute one. Let's make an NFT out of topless Jeff, something like that. Zabby, thanks for the follow. Good afternoon. What if your boss sees it? She approves. Handily playing through our opponent's cards here. Yeah. It's like they cast Rest in Peace, but like, we're just like an Abzan mid-range deck, right? And honestly, the fact that they're on Rest in Peace makes me want to pivot off of the kind of individually weak cards. Like maybe we trim these. Honestly, it could be right just to bring Shifting Ceratops in. They beat Platinum Angel? Probably not, actually. Yeah, like, their deck isn't particularly fast. So, like, we're very capable of just casting things like Elesh Norn and, like, beating them down with an Elesh Norn that gets cast. Is the OnlyFans coming? There is a tier 3 subscriber channel in the subs Discord server. This is where my OnlyFans content gets posted. Base Wizard, thanks for the half a year. Welcome back. Underrealm Lich? Nah. Underrealm Lich is the pretty typical trap of playing a kind of mediocre card to make your cards that are already good better. Play more good cards, your decks will do better. What kind of content can you expect to see on the OnlyFans? No, it's nothing compared to the hidden royalty section. That's true. The Hoaglandia crowns do have their own little place as well. Oh man, I forgot Heartless Summoning was a card. That would be a sweet one to put in this format. I would love me some Heartless Summoning. Man, where's an Elesh Norn when you're looking for one? Guess we'll take Thragtusk, but I'd like an Elesh Norn. It's so good, Socio. It has things in it I didn't know I wanted. The question is going to be, can we get to something like Elesh before these Spellbinders kill us in the air? Why not float mana and cast Salvage? Because then they'll just take whatever I salvage into. I'd much rather cast Salvage for 4 mana and then play Elesh for 7 the following turn. So they've waited until after Thragtusk to resolve for it. Why? What would that have done? Was that a good draw? Let me know. Let me know in the chat if you think this was a good draw. Don't mana type me. Oh yeah. And see, this is why I'm kind of inclined to think that Stitcher's Supplier probably isn't very good. Part of me, I'm going to play 1 or 2 more with this, but part of me wants to be a little bit less graveyard-based. Like, maybe cut these and largely just lean on these as way to flip things in the bin and, like, play Land War Elves. Just, like, be kind of an Abzan rampy deck that, like, has this Reanimator thing it does sometimes, but don't have it be your primary features. That way you can play through things like Rest in Peace consistently. You know, someone else mentioned Collective Brutality in a YouTube comment yesterday, and I actually don't think Collective Brutality would be very good in this format. If you think about what Collective Brutality does, and then think about the cards people actually play, you know, the aggro decks in this format win by miles, not inches, with cards like Embercleave. The control decks are playing a lot of Planeswalkers and enchantments, and a lot of creature decks have 3+ toughness things. Hey, you can check out Full Essence Apparel for the wonderful Magic and other themed shirts. Would Paradise Druid be an idea, or is that too much ramp? I think I'd much rather just play Land War Elves. Maybe it was right to take Calls the Dead there. Fill the graveyard up more. This is kind of a nice answer to have. Looks much better than Fatal Push. The fact that we can grab it off of Grisly Salvage is also great. Oh, I can't take Calls to Dead. Yeah, good point. I was testing you, chat. You passed. Good job. Yeah, Paper Magic's coming back soon. In Paper Magic, you can take Calls to Dead. Honestly, if I think we're gonna casting Anger. Okay, yeah, I think if they didn't Anger there, I was going to escape Angel and exile one of their tokens. The exact reason one of your friends refuses to play Reno. Why? Because it doesn't let them cheat? Oh, shit. I should have played that on black so I could hold up Rider. That's fine. I'm not going to Murderous Rider this anyways.
I have practiced against many. Hone your prowess. Just wait a moment. Prowess is unmatched by my peers. Keep an open mind.
My deck doesn't actually draw cards, right? I need to kill this. Does not. I think we just hit them for 2.
I must stay focused.
Only Cycle Lands. Yeah, we can do those on their turn if we want to. Hey, awesome gaming. They're good stuff. Like to kill it in case of memory in the late game. I don't think we're gonna get to that point. That's true. They could Prismari command us. They kind of want to Prismari command themselves, though, right? I can also like Murderous Rider in response to any of those things. Well, we're about to die to a Gear Hulk. But Steve, thanks for the follow. Yeah, Rider much better than Fatal Push here.
Let's skip to the good part.
Whatever. Whatever, man. We take those, champ. We take those. All right. Board out our kind of individually weak cards. Board in some more discards, some pulse. Oh yeah, they're a Gear Hulk deck. Kling's real good against Gear Hulk. I like it. Angel of Sanctions actually probably isn't very good here. The Mire Triton's in his cheap pressure. How is, I know you've been playing this a little bit, Bob. How has Stitcher's Supplier been for you? This is a card I've always been pretty whelmed by. Spending a mode on a Witherbloom command to kill your Stitcher Supplier seems real mediocre. Okay. We'll try him in some of the creature matchups. Our check land's looking clunky here, but that's fine. Nailed it. Never didn't have it. Jamming a Phyrexian Tower into the mana base might be worthwhile. Was the mana bend? I think fine. I didn't look at the lands at all. I just loaded up what she had. I feel like 3-color mana bases tend to be pretty straightforward in this format. This is a great draw. Lets me go ahead and Duress plus Call of the Dead this turn. So, they just have so many of these things. I'm just going to take their Teferi. It's like one of these things is not like the others. That's rough. Wow, they didn't just cycle that. Seems loose. And for land. And they just gave me priority back, so I get to go ahead and put Elesh Norn into play now. Thanks, appreciate you. Good morning, everyone, and something Reanimator of my choice. Oh, I guess they get to do it in response. That's fair. That is how magic works. I think we're gonna try Esper with that donation, Mari. I've got a Mardu build in the queue that we're gonna get to tomorrow, I think, and then Esper's on the list. In every Reanimator of the Rainbow. Might just die to this 4/4, huh? I'm gonna say no attacks here because they can Justice Strike plus Helix to kill Elesh. And we're currently losing the race, so if they clear Elesh with their removal spells. We not get to Mardu first thing. Yeah, I can make a note of that. Not first. Waiting on a draw that kills us. Might have been right to just writes the Ceratops back there. Hey, Simon. Thanks for the 10 months. Welcome back. Memory lamps. Oh, it resolved! Hasted Tops was lethal. There's a Justice Strike face up in their hand. I'm doing this rather than casting the one from my hand because while this can get countered, the one in my graveyard has a shelf life if they draw something like Relic or Rest in Peace, so I want to just get that while the getting is good, basically. Nice. Nice. To clear something like a Justice Strike here. Stupid lightning helixes. Ultimately punished for our sequencing there. If I would have played the one from hand, we would have drawn the Thoughtseize. I think my sequencing was correct, but does it mean things are gonna work out? The Geralt version of Jeskai is definitely much better against these more mid-rangey decks. It's worse against things like Gruul. Probably better in the Mire too. The more greedy build of that archetype, basically. Tier 2 subs get acquire channel points at a higher rate, Bear Senior, and they get some additional emotes on the channel. It could be right to mulligan this. There's a good chance this finds a Ceratops, though. Like, I boarded in 4 of those. I like if this finds Ceratops. Have any tier 1s gotten Shillionaire? A number of them have, but tier 1s also used to get more channel points than they do now, and Twitch changed it. Hey, Nidian Scout, thanks for the Prime support. I appreciate that. You thought I controlled the channel points. I control what things cost, which dictates the rate at which they're acquired. I think it's just the Shark Typhoon. With Cling to Dust, Mizzix's Mastery doesn't really matter. We'll just hold this up in the late game, rather than playing it out aggressively. Yeah, they aren't. That's actually a piece of feedback that I've given to Twitch before, is that they should let the channel control the rate at which points are acquired. What's going on, Wargy? Feather had a really good set this morning. It was the second deck we played. Twitch doesn't like feedback. I've actually had pretty good results with working with the various what's it called, managers I've had in the past. I think it's a deck to beat right now in Historic. Probably Jeskai Control or Phoenix are the two kind of like known good decks going into this weekend. Someone asked, do I prefer this deck or the 4-color build? I don't really have an educated or informed opinion on that yet. Haven't really played enough of a game. Ever trickle down the shillings from your redemption? I believe I did. Usually I do them right away. No, there's something to be said about trading a little bit of power for consistency in the mana bob. Like, the Fright's mana base wasn't bad, but it also wasn't amazing. So if they have, like, end step, discard a thing into Gearhulk me or Mizzix's Mastery me, I'm gonna be sad I didn't hold up Cling, but I also just can't wait around here forever. They've been good, Wargy. Pretty good sets all around. Alright, so now I think we Shifty Boy and then attack. Oh yeah, we'll definitely play this on black. You could argue I should do it beforehand, but it shouldn't matter here. Hopefully they double Helix Ceratops here. That's an Abzan variation. No, it's a red-blue. Is it variation? Even this seems like a positive exchange for us, right? Just like, okay, you spent your turn to gain 5 life. I still have 2 threats, go. Like, they cast a sweeper here, I end up with a 3/3 and can Unburial Rites Shifting Ceratops next turn. Well, I mean, if it was the right play last turn... I'm never playing around Settle Wreckage. The only time I'm playing around Settle Wreckage are when deck lists are heads up and I see that there's a chance of Settle. You settle the wreckage, come and get it. You'll lose way more games playing around Settle the Wreckage than you'll win because you played around it. I mean, Elesh is just a threat that attacks that doesn't die to, like, Lightning Helix. Like, you are right, her text box isn't good in this matchup, but, like, a 4/7 for 7 does still kill them. It's a threat they eventually have to answer. This certainly isn't the matchup that you play this card for. You play this card for the creature matchups, but it's also, like, just fine here. Wait, did they just choose not to block? I'm gonna Helix the Thragtusk? Oh, maybe they thought they could block this, but these are pro-blue. Yeah, I think they forgot about pro-blue. The channel points do not contribute to deck submissions. If you achieve Shillionaire status, you get to add a deck to the queue, but that's the only way that we still do channel points with that. Cling to me, baby. You can use channel points for deck voting when we do that. And we'll be back to letting chat vote on what decks we play probably early or midway through next week. We should get through all the viewer donated decks. I'll pick some out for people to vote on. Fire Bad Mac Good. Prime Good. Thanks for the 3rd of the year. Welcome back. Yeah, sweet. What's it called? Looking real good there. Ceratops out of the board. And away. Thanks for the follow. Welcome to the channel. I'm back to 10k after I spent 40k on a losing vampires list. Oh, poor vampires. So many mods. Yeah, I give 1 year subscribers mod status usually. Nice. Food deck. I fight so good now that I'm off for the summer. I'll have some more time to watch the jank. What's going on? Thanks for the half a year. I honestly don't know if we care about any of these, right? I guess we take Gilded Goose, and then we can Thoughtseize again next turn and take Fatal Push. I could also just, like, hold this Thoughtseize for when they draw the Moose, right? That's probably what we do. We just don't, like, I guess if they kill my Goose, I really don't care, right? Man! Where's that card last turn, chat? That's the one I want to Thoughtseize, right there. When your Thoughtseize would have been better as Thought Scour. Feels bad, man. Match prediction feature. Nah, I want everyone that achieves Shillionaire to achieve Shillionaire by pulling themselves up by their bootstraps. Hey, math teacher. Thanks for the 32 months. Come back. Can I inherit a Shillion from my parents? You cannot. Like, we do channel voting as a way for people to cash in their points. I've been happy with doing deck voting as a way for people to spend those on occasion. So much card advantage from these Trail of Crumbs. You could inherit a Twitch tape from your parents. It's already a shillionaire. That's true. All right. Milady is ready, chat. They're gonna get to draw 800 cards here, though. I assume there's Binding of the Old Gods in their deck. Twitch actually doesn't let you do custom badges in chat, and you can't give someone VIP and mod status simultaneously. Shillionaires get a special icon in the subscriber Discord server. They get a special color. You also gain access to Beverly Shills in the subs Discord server. And everybody knows Beverly Shills is where you want to be, chat. So we gotta feed Binding some gods here. Land. I love Elesh Norn's Screech. It's very visceral. It's very like alien coming to eat you. They can't loot cat with Elesh. Correct. They can sack the food and get one cat trigger, but it just dies to state-based action, so they can't sack it for another food. They can, however, like, make a food with a Gilded Goose. One mana, make a food. Deal. You got it. Oh, I can Thoughtseize it now. Sick. Eats. Wasn't thinking about that. Peace was never an option for this goose chat. Elesh Norn ascends your geese to their one true state, where they're able to provide the beatdowns. Battle of Goose. Battle Goose. Elesh fills the geese with hate. No, the goose already had hate in its heart. Elesh Norn is just allowing its hate to reach potential. What's the best anthology in my opinion? It's the last one and it's not close. If you aren't someone who's a large sea creature, the previous anthologies weren't really worth buying. This most recent anthology was 100% worth buying. I didn't know Untitled Goose Game had a prequel. Lol. Elesh Norn punishes creature decks that refuse to be interactive. If your creature deck can't interact with creatures like this, he's gonna put you in a box and shove you away. You do relocate, so the 4,000 gems or whatever it costs, you get 4 of each card. Just really fantastic value on this most recent one because of that. Okay, they have a devil. I am down to 10. What's going on, Eyeball Head? Thanks for the prime. Welcome back. Yeah, they don't have much to sack, right? Because Elesh Norn is keeping them in the... keeping their stuff in the graveyard. Good stuff. Good shit. Okay, so if I Murderous Rider, their Mayhem Devil, they make a food, which then they can sack to the cat to gain a life. I think that's still the play. Just stopped to sub. See you on the YouTube rerun. Thanks for dropping off the Prime, Bala. Wouldn't be able to be here without folks like you. We've had some good sets today. A lot of good stuff to pick from. So again, they're not dead here because the cat coming into play is going to gain them a life. What were the best sets yesterday? Both Dragonstorm and 4-color Reanimator were put up on the website after yesterday's sets. They're just both fantastic. Hi, cat. Bye, cat. Yes, yeah, putting a second Elesh into play kills everything with 4 toughness. 3 and 4 toughness for a second, which is great. Ardent Harvest Field. It felt reasonable. With Harvest, 22 lands felt fine. Used Harvest to fish up lands a number of times. Hey, thanks for the 22 months, Pelly. And thanks for all the help. Pelly's a WordPress wizard, chat. He is responsible for helping me make my website as functional as it is. Would this be considered playing with your food? Asking the real questions. Okay, so Maelstrom Pulse sounds good. Alright, what do I trim here? Thoughtseize is like okay that game, but it might not be good enough on average to be worth playing. Like a lot of their stuff plays to the board. Like it felt like the fact that they gave us a window to take their removal spell out of their hand felt play. Is Cling good versus Junsack? Be fine. Tagging a Ghost Rider on occasion is fine. Usually can't tag Cat with it though. Seems reasonable. Marshmallow Man. Are you made out of marshmallows, or do you, like, sell them or eat a lot of them? Thanks for the follow. I think it's good for cat. It's, like, passable for the cat. It's, like, not most of the time they have multiple food and can just sack another food to bring the cat back. Gaining 3 life is nothing to scoff at, though. There's a lot of games where, like, in this matchup where you just, like, have 1 more life, they can't drain you out, and cat's good in those. This town ain't big enough for 2 marshmallows. Take my salvage, it's so good. Could take Maelstrom Pulse depending on the texture of their hand. Nice. 3 bags of marshmallows and a trench coat. Hey, I understand new baby stuff, Clearable Body. Thanks for dropping in. Hope your new little one's doing well. Croaky's announced he's joined Team Liquid. Sweet. It's good to see that. It's good to see that some of the bigger orgs are still interested in Magic people. Although Croaky's is kind of a unique outlier in terms of Magic. No one else really comes close to hitting on his metrics. He is in a league of his own in the game category. He's a streamer, he just happens to play Magic. I don't know that that's a fair characterization. Croaky's is definitely a Magic streamer. I know he streams some other things before Magic, but like Magic is where he gains his notoriety. I do consistently have more subscribers than Croaky is, because Oglandia as a community is second to none, chat. Croaky's ready. I thought he was a Gwent streamer. And he was previously a card game streamer, right? Yeah, he did Gwent before this, but Gwent's a very small game. It's a place that's hard to take off in. The moose is loose, chat. I'm more so saying they're there specifically for him. They're somewhat there for the Magic. I mean, like, you can go look at his metrics and see that just like every other Magic streamer, like, when he streams non-Magic games, his viewer count dips off. So, like, yeah. Hoglandia's a jesterarchy. Listen, chat. To the people in chat that are trying to actually me on metrics regarding things related to Twitch, trust me when I tell you I've spent way more time looking at metrics regarding large, medium, and small Twitch streamers than you have. I am a very data-driven person, and I have spent a lot of time analyzing lots of different directions. And for those of you that are wondering what the primary results of my analysis are, the primary results are there's no consistency in the metrics all over the place, and nothing is relatable or tangible or traceable in terms of patterns. It's all meaningless, chat. Data is just anecdotes in good form. What do I think makes him stand out? It's impossible to say. People just click with certain types of people. There's also a big part of too where content creation is a very snowbally industry, and once you hit a certain mass, it becomes much easier to grow from there. It's much easier. It's like when they talk about investments, right? Your first million is the hardest million, right? And the rest of it comes easy from there. Yeah, it's like making on the first page of Google. Yep. Yeah, I mean, like, volume's definitely a part of it. That's part of how you grow too. Like, once you have a certain audience, streaming more makes you grow more. I think we're dead here at this point. Speaking of the game, I don't think we really have. Like, I guess I could draw exactly Elesh Norn next turn, but they're murdering my geese, so yeah, smart play on the opponent's part. I did notice your bits. Thank you, Archangel. Sorry about that. We were rambling on other things for validating me and our community. Yeah, and I've talked about that before, right? Like you have to be good at what you do. Like, Croakies is an objectively good streamer. He has a reasonable sense of humor that clicks for a lot of people. He's good at the game that he plays, but you can't just be a good streamer and take off on Twitch. Everyone who's successful, Croakies, myself, Caleb, everybody in every category had a good bit of luck, right place, right time, and then also put in the work. But just putting in the work and being good at what you do doesn't mean suddenly you have viewers and take off and everything works out. Like most things in life, it's a mixture of hard work and luck. Is Elesh Norn, this game probably goes long enough that I think keeping Elesh Norn in my opener is reasonable. And she's just so good here. But if I don't want to work, can I just have luck? I mean, you can just be lucky to a degree, but you definitely have to be a lot more lucky if you also aren't good at what you do. And that's to get what many people would call political for a moment. That's where the core of privilege comes from. People who are privileged had more chances to get lucky breaks and started at a higher position in life than other people. And one of the really common misnomers is that this idea that, like, if you say that the idea that saying someone got lucky to get where they are is like saying they didn't also work hard, which just isn't true. Like, I can acknowledge that I had to get lucky to take off as a streamer, but I also know that I've put in a lot of hard work to do it, right? So being lucky to end up in a good spot doesn't mean that you didn't work hard, but most things in life require a good amount of luck. Right place, right time, knowing the right people, putting in the work at the right opportunity. And there's a number of people who don't have as many privileges that are never given that opportunity to put the work in. Oh, man, that's a beating. Are we supposed to have some way in our 75 to take that card off the table? I feel like we are. Oh, Taco We Noob, thanks for the Prime support. I appreciate that. Welcome back. Oh, Angel Ken. Yeah, kinda. She's a very temporary solution to Klothys being a permanent problem. It could honestly be right to just, like, play tapped land and cling to dust this turn. I could see being the correct thing to do here. Yeah, I mean, to be fair, Be Rich, that's why I ended up taking a magic break for a little bit. Like, heading into the months before I took my break from playing Magic, I felt like I was just phoning it in and wasn't really present for what I was making. And part of the reason why I decided to take a break was because if I couldn't put my all into it, the content wasn't really worth watching anyways. I try, Violet. It's one of the little things I can do. I think we just pass here. Because if we draw an untapped land, we can Elesh and kill the Ghost Rider next turn. Yeah, Dromoka's Command could maybe be a card. I don't know. The problem with Dromoka's Command in a deck like this is that we don't have a lot of large creatures, so the fight mode isn't particularly exciting on it. I feel like if I wanted an answer to Klothys, which there's a good chance we might, Skyclave Apparition is probably a good answer. We need a little bit more white mana in the mana base to cast it, but Skyclave Apparition is a card that we can find with Grisly Salvage that answers Klothys. Come on, untapped land. Untapped land. Untapped land. Alright, if this finds us an untapped land, oh, I can cast Unburial Rites this turn using the Goose. Okay, so we'll take this, and then we'll play this, and we'll Rites this turn before they can take it. And then I have my land rolled up to cast Elesh next turn. Hopefully their hand is mediocre, they're just like setting the moose loose next turn. Let the Goose send a message in the air here. Yeah, a couple Skyclave Apparitions actually sounds really appealing in this deck list. Maybe try and get like one more white source in the mana base. 1 to 2 more. I think we're on 14 white if I recall. Like 15 to 16 would be ideal. Goose and Grisly Salvage fudge the numbers a little bit. Elspeth Conquers Death. Yeah, I think the fact that Skyclave can be found with Grisly Salvage is a big plus in its favor. How do you feel about food in this format? I think it's worse than it's ever been. Goodbye, friends. I heard, James. It's good to know that bigger teams are still interested in Magic, folks, in a post MPL world. Yes, yeah, you could also Rites an Apparition, which is nice. All right, and if they have a binding here to kill Elesh, I can Unburial Rites her next turn before Klothys eats her. So that's nice. And like adding Skyclave to answer Klothys is a nice way to answer it, because Skyclave is a very flexible card, right? It's not like we're adding a narrow card to our deck to only answer that. Skyclave does hit Rip and Cage. Milady. Skyclave feels like following the just play more good cards philosophy. Yeah, exactly. I think even though we're beating Klothys here, this is not always going to happen. So I think getting some Skyclaves would be ideal in the 75, maybe 2 to 3. Hey, Mountain Goat, welcome back. Appreciate the tier 2 or the 2 months. All right, can we find our 4th Unburial Rites with this? Well, I guess currently just dead on board, right? Fair. Yes, yeah, that game was a good example where I understood from the start what cards were important and recognized that the game was going to go long enough that casting Elesh Norn would be good. We were able to execute on that appropriately. All right, I haven't thought about the mana base at all here yet to start. Let's take a look at this and see what Bob is doing. Oh, we're only playing... We only have 8 shocks. I think I'm going to go up to 10. I think I'm going to go up to 10 shocks. Especially with the check lands that we're playing. How have you liked Calls the Dead, Bob? I haven't been super impressed by this. This is 9, 14. Said we had 18. We'll probably go down a green and go up a white. I could like cut this for a black white. Like the lot versus aggro. I mean, Skyclave's pretty good against aggro too. Those cards just aren't related at all. Skyclave or relocate. And this card is something that we're playing because we can mill over it. Okay, I think I want to try this with maybe a third in the board. It's just like I said, this card falls in line with the general thinking of just play good cards. I could also see the Shifting Ceratops plan felt good enough against control that maybe we don't need 5 discard spells. So like to get an extra slot in the main, we could like cut this Duress, move this Thoughtseize to the board. And then that gives us room for a third Calls the Dead back in here. For people talking about Elspeth Conqueror's death, Grisly Salvage being able to find Skyclave Apparition is a big deal. Yeah, honestly, I kind of like 3 Skyclaves too. Yeah, I'm gonna do that. I like having a little bit more answers. Grisly Salvage finding us these cards is a big deal. Also, being able to Unburial Rites this in a pinch is also something that's relevant. Oh, chat. We've made it back to a number by mistake. That's a yikes. I didn't mean to, I swear, chat. Yeah, I could see that, Bub. Murderous Rider's definitely overperformed. Again, the fact that Grisly Salvage finds it has been huge. Probably gonna get the option to chump more damage with this later, so and take the hit for now. We played against Just Guy Control with this deck, Scholar. There hasn't been that much control that we've played against today. Elite Spellbinder is so good. Do you feel about Pyretic Rituals in addition to Historic? Fucking terrible. Keep that kind of shit out of this format. You're exactly right that it would be a combo enabler, and cards like Pyretic Ritual are exactly why Storm cards are toxic and obnoxious in older non-rotating formats. Keep all of the Moxes and the fast mana and the mana morphos as far away from Historic as humanly possible. A significant part of why things that are considered busted and too good in other formats aren't busted and too good in Historic is because stuff like that is kept far, far away. Alright, well. Elite Spellbinder has to be one of the best white creature printed. Big agree. It's super, super good. Excuse me? What a weird... I guess it's self-enabling, technically, huh? What a strange inclusion. What is it doing that normal company isn't doing? Is it just playing this card, or is it doing other things that Green-White Company doesn't normally do? It's Gruul tech? Does this deck have a bad Gruul matchup? I was under the impression this deck had a pretty reasonable Gruul matchup. Yeah, I think Batterskull would be a sweet addition. I would like Batterskull, or I would like Stoneforge Mystic plus more swords. I think Stoneforge Mystic plus swords is probably too much for this format, but one or the other sounds great. I would like the full playset of swords plus Stoneforge Mystic sounds great. I think Jace the Mind Sculptor is a miserable magic card. I would prefer less miserable magic cards, not more. Need a couple more trims here. It's just Supplier again. They're probably going to have Graveyard Hate post board, right? Which makes Supplier's stat line just worse. That's probably fine to just cut this as like filler in most games. That's what I've been doing so far. It's like okay for being linear game one, but... Bong Hauvid, thanks for the follow. Good afternoon. Blood Moon Gang, where you at? Timed out along with you to think about what you said. Thanks for the tier 2, Caden's Indignation. 2 years is a long time. Welcome back. Burning Earth, chat. Burning Earth is the appropriate Blood Moon adjacent card. I think that would be quite a good addition to this format to punish mana bases if you wanted a punishing card. The reason why they do anthologies versus just bigger sets in a booster pack, yeah, programming time, Mountain Goats. Development time too. If they do booster packs, they need to have the set be draftable. The historic anthologies are like higher concentration of playable or interesting cards without draft chaff, basically. Yeah, we don't have any information about it. The current pattern is that we get new direct to historic cards in either an anthology or a remaster 6 weeks after every set release, like equidistance between set releases. They don't, however, tell us in advance what's coming when. So when it happens, it happens, chap. If this ditches us an Elesh or something spicy, we'll be able to Unburial Rites next turn off the Goose. No, Divining Top is another card that, while probably not too powerful for this format, is slow and miserable and can just stay deleted. So it's one of those cards that just shouldn't exist. I think they're going to take the Angel of Sanctions here. Yeah, they just checked our graveyard and saw there wasn't anything in there. Hey, Halvidi, thanks for the Prime support. There's a ton of great people you can send that to every month. Thanks for sending it this way this month. Love the content, but watching on YouTube. Can't wait for the open. Hey, awesome. Looking forward to having you. I wonder if this was a misclick. Nailed it, chat. Never didn't have it. Bingo! Thanks for the 1.5 years. Any Shieldred decks? There are not. I don't know that Shieldred is a historic playable card at a glance. Yeah, I agree, Andrew. The untapped plugin is such an incredible quality of life upgrade from the old cardboard life. All right, we're only 2 lands off of casting this if Goose lives. Well, shit. Now we're a couple more than 2 off. How's this race going? They go to 10, we go to 13, they go to 7, we go to 7, they go to 4, we go to 1. I guess the goose kind of skews it. I think we're attacking because we have the goose. We're technically both attacking for 3 a turn, and we're up 6 at the moment, right? Yeah, Oasis is a one-time pop shot, though, right? So, like, yeah, one of the turns they effectively attack for 6, but that spends their turn doing it. They're not playing cards to the board that turn. Yeah, Goose can jump block at a certain point, too. We are also only 1 mana off of hitting this Angel of Sanctions here. Which is noteworthy as well. Well, I mean, that's better than missing on the land, I guess. Okay. It's pretty good. Yeah, it's really clean. Scavenging Ooze is poised to just gain infinite here. I think our Goose is cooked is an accurate summary here. We've been green-white annoying things out of the game. Even if I top deck like an Elesh at this point, we're still too far behind. Back to the 99% where we belong, champ. All right, let's do one more with Abzan, and then we'll roll along to the next one, huh? Yeah, triple Spellbinder was very good. Tempoed us very, very well. We're gonna play Jund Storm Herald next. I'm excited to get to Jund Storm Herald. Hey, Ken Paith. Thanks for re-upping for the 2nd month. Welcome back. If you haven't seen the Storm Herald deck before, you're in for a treat. It was really sweet last season, and Grisly Salvage should be a pretty big upgrade for it. Hey, thanks for the Prime, Sheriff. Yeah, Grisly Salvage is a huge upgrade. Gruul is still very good. Smush. Brixis. They could be a pack deck. They've not played anything specific to imply pack just yet. They have only played good lands. Usually some amount of mediocre lands. I guess Thought Erasure is a little bit of an off card. But yeah, until we see like random snow-covered lands or like Terramorphic Expanse. I don't know, some people just like Thought Erasure. Grixis doesn't have anything I really want to put under a Skyclave anyways. I'm just going to go ahead and play my Grey Ogre out here and start attacking. Well, Pact can't play Lurrus anymore, if they're a Pact deck. Alright, not a Pact deck, just Grixis control, chat. See, don't make assumptions. Really? They took Angel of Sanctions. I was just about to say I expect that card to not be very good here. What are we doing? Alright, I would like an untapped land to play Thragtusk. Nailed it. And then these embalm for 6 here. So they get to escape Kroxa next turn, but if I spike another land, we get to just Angel of Sanctions it away. This is bold. Oh man, come on, untapped land. Come on, untapped land. Hit me, dealer. Nailed it. Man. There is no fear in our opponent's dojo, chat. They are not scared. They should be. They should have some fear. They should have some fear. Man. Put your Thragtusk under my hostage taker. Oh no! Please don't kill my Angel of Sanctions and take my Thragtusk again! No! Please don't do that! I don't know how we'll recover! Alright. They found the line. We're actually a bit behind here at this point.
Existence.
Wipe your bloodline from existence. Yeah, they got a lot of bangers in their hand. They've got a Kroxa in the bin here still too. Really? Huh. That kind of surprises me that they're doing, like, I want to save this for this anyways. They're just, like, giving me a reason to do it. And the way this works is, if they kill my token, Kroxa will come into play and trigger, but it won't have been escaped, so it'll go back to the graveyard. So getting to put that under here is pretty good value for us. We have a Mizzix Mastery? Wow, those are disgusting draws. Woof. Just like back-to-backs, Opus into Mastery. Alright, come on. One good draw deserves another. Give me an Elesh Norn. Papa needs an Elesh Norn. M'lady. I'll also settle for Grisly Salvage into Unburial Rites, Elesh Norn. Sunpetal Grove. Interesting choices. But it's a funny, maybe it's an Elesh Norn if we squint. Alright, so I think I want some removal. I want the Ceratops. I want these Thoughtseizes. I think we board out the Stitcher Supplier, expecting some graveyard heat to be coming in, and we trim a Goose. Rest of this seems fine. Leaving these in to tag Kroxa seems like good value. Magic Unicorn, thanks for the brand new Prime support. Welcome to the channel. Exiling 4 mana things, especially with Skyclave Apparition, isn't generally speaking a winning play. Having to get through their 4/4s after the fact generally doesn't leave you in a position to be well off. After this match, we're going to be playing some Jund Herald, and then I'm not sure if we're doing anything else after that. I've not decided yet. We'll see what happens when 3 o'clock rolls around. Alright, I think we take the Thought Erasure so that way we get to pick what we're discarding next turn. Any Modern Horizon cards getting added to Historic? Yeah, Abundant Harvest. With the perfect variance, drawing the land after they did is discard the spell. Hey, Zero Vector, thanks for the tier 2. It's a very generous level of support. Welcome to the channel this afternoon. Me both, Brimstone. It's good to have Magic formats worth playing. I am super looking forward to the fall when rotation happens. Having Standard and Historic be good. Legion, super mid-rangey Grixis, huh? Your build seems sweet. I like these more proactive Grixis builds. They're still at 20, so I'm not attacking with this. I don't want them to build up goblins here. Troop in, thanks for the follow. Good morning. They are 2 cards off of Escaping Croxa still. Long-time viewer, first-time sub. Hey, welcome. Good to have you in chat. You should make sure to pop on into the subs Discord server as well. It's kind of the 24-hour Glandia experience. 1 card off of Escaping Croxa. I'm gonna hold 1 food for now, because if we draw Elesh, I want to cast her. Alright, 1 Unburial Rites, please, Mire Triton. My lady died, chat. Gaining 3 a turn, so take 2. Yep. Now they're gonna escape Croxa. Yeah, if they don't have a removal spell, Triton blocks Croxa, which is nice. Leaves us kind of at parity until someone top decks a banger. One of our 4 Unburial Rites, please. Damn it, deck. $18 cards into our deck without one of those. Narset's pretty scary. She generates some card advantage.
Thoughtfulness before action.
To a degree, Bob. There's definitely a reason why we ended up adding more reanimate spells to the 4-color build we played yesterday. Hey, good afternoon, Inquisitor. Welcome to the channel. Howdy, howdy. It's a little aggressive on my part, but the card advantage is hard to keep up with. I think I've preferred the 4-color build. Faithless looting, letting you ditch cards out of your hand is really powerful in this style of deck. This deck hasn't felt bad per se, but the looting build felt more powerful. And honestly, like I mentioned, I think it's probably just a matter of, do you want a little bit more consistency out of your mana base, or do you want to be playing something that's a little bit more powerful overall? I really like, we ended up adding 2 copies of 5 mana Liliana. I liked her a lot yesterday. Good number of creatures, no love for Blood for Bones. So Blood for Bones is really bad in like the mid-range and the control matchups. Also, like, aside from Stitcher Supplier, we don't really want to sacrifice most of our creatures. Like, they're things we want to keep. Just gonna go ahead and eat all the food now. Yeah, I agree that the mana base in the Frights deck felt pretty serviceable, all things considered. My heart jumped up a little bit there when I saw something appear. I was like, oh, an Unburial Rite? No, it's just an Angel of Sanctions. Not bad per se, but like, you recommended the Mitchells versus the Machines in a past video, and I watched it the other day. I'm a little upset with you. It made me cry like a baby. It is a very good movie for a variety of reasons. It was great. If you're someone that has kids, if you're an adult too, it's a good movie for adults. But if you have kids especially, it's a great watch with kids. Is that 6? I think I'm supposed to embalm this and take this. The problem is they could escape Kroxa and take this out of my hand. The Mitchells versus the Machines. It's a Netflix original. Okay, sick. So not only did we hit Unburial Rites, but we spiked the Dino here. It's kind of funny how prophetic the Netflix CEO was. There's an interview of the then Netflix CEO at one point from like, gosh, years ago now, where the CEO was like, our goal is to become HBO before HBO can become us. And like seeing how they've developed their own original library and how HBO and all these other places scaled up their streaming services, just like yeah, you get it. You understood.
Let your weak minds crumble.
Huh? So I could Unburial Rites, Smashy Dino, and Smashy Dino the Nicol Bolas, but then they get to Kroxa my Maelstrom Pulse. I think that might still be the right play and lose the Maelstrom Pulse, because it seems pretty important to play cards out onto the board here. Because they have Search for Iskant, so they're going to bury me with as well. I think I just need to take the line that plays to the board. It could also be right to just smack their face here and hope that, like, their 2 draws plus this don't find a way to kill this. That's probably ambitious.
Conceivable.
Conceivable. You can tell Croaky's just signed off because we bumped up a bunch of viewers. Welcome to folks that are coming over. Hanging out, playing some historic today like we do most days of the week. We're just getting ready to wrap up with this Abzan Reanimator deck. And then we're going to be shifting gears over to playing some, we're going to play some Jund Storm Herald next. If you're new to the channel, thanks for dropping in today. So they can use this to kill this, but this is pro-blue, so it attacks past this token, so it doesn't save them from dying here. It is a touch awkward that this is going to make us discard the other Shifting Ceratops, but that's fine. You're looking for like a Doomblade or something here. Yeah, another Languish would have been bad for us, but I couldn't really afford to play around that, so. Kill you? Shifty Boy has been very good. 4 copies of this out of the sideboard has been lovely. Just and we've seen that too, like in this game and the match we played against Jeskai, where just like Unburial Ritesing this card has just been stellar. Can't be countered is good too. Yeah, the protection from blue, letting it get past shark tokens and magma opus tokens has been very relevant. The fourth point of toughness, meaning it doesn't die to lightning helix and it dodges baffling end, means you sidestep a lot of their point removal as well, forcing them to often have to play like Wrath of God or Day of Judgment into a 1-for-1 situation. Thanks for the follow, Splashmaster. Welcome to the channel. Have a good one, Shark. Everything will be up on the YouTubes this evening. Yeah, I think that's probably right, Bob. I've been pretty whelmed by those. And I agree with you, they're probably fine against aggro, but like adding another Thragtusk makes you decent against aggro too. And the Murderous Rider, the thing I hadn't considered when someone suggested Murderous Rider was the Grisly Salvage consideration, but being able to find your murder off of our powerful search card has felt excellent. Good afternoon, Comanus. If you're new to the channel and looking for great historic decks, we've played a ton of different things over the last 2 days already. Yesterday we played Mardu Death Shadow. We played 4-color Reanimator with no blue. We played mono red Dragonstorm, mostly red Dragonstorm. We had a blue splash for the tutor, I suppose. We played some Naya Feather with Dramoka's command earlier today. We played some Jeskai Control with Lotus Field. How did Feather? Dramoka's command made Feather feel really clean this morning. I was not expecting the Feather deck to feel like it was as big of an improvement as it was. That's a deck I've been pretty whelmed by in recent sets, and it felt pretty reasonable this morning. Having a Reckless Rage style fight card that wasn't just dead against control was big game. Hey, JRR, thanks for the 2 months. JRR is another excellent content creator that does some historic stuff on occasion and does a lot of standard as well. A lot of brews there, so that's someone that's a good follow if you're looking for other excellent constructed creators. You can click on their name there in chat and give them one. So they showed us some languishes last game. If we lose 2 geese to languish, that's fine. Do we pulse the treasure? I think that's a little aggressive. I think there's a way to use trash for treasure with Godfarer's Gift? Potentially. So we just like Shifty Boy and Smash? Who's on the Shifty Boy and Smash plan? We could Angel of Sanctions the treasure. Okay, I don't think I'm in to Maelstrom Pulse the treasure, but I think I'm into Angel of Sanctions the treasure. So the problem with Ceratops is that if I Ceratops and then they kill my Thragtusk, untap Languish, I end up in a really bad spot. So I think saving the Ceratops for post the inevitable sweeper is potentially ideal. Because they're choked on mana, so Angel letting us lean into hurting their mana. It's kind of nice here. It means I have to draw the land and have the Languish. Okay, well, we read the Languish and played around it to the best of our abilities, at least. I think I need to hit my land drop here. And there is an Unburial Rites going in the bin there, so I can Unburial Rites that Ceratops after the fact. No Elesh in the top 25 cards of our deck's a little bit sad. Oh, brutal. This is the downside to playing a deck like what we're playing. You get to do powerful things, but you also have to subject yourself to some powerful hate effects. Nah, I think that's an unnecessary risk, Enya. Because I have this Ceratops as a follow-up here, we have a real chance to beat their Languish. We saw more than one Languish in the second game. I think it's definitely right to play around it. I was still adding pressure to the table. I think it's actually Maelstrom Pulse here. Both of these are cards that kill them. Yeah, the Ashiok voice actor and the effects on it are definitely stellar. Really well done. They don't know that this is our second rider, so pretty happy to do this right away. Is Electrolyze bad and historic? Yes. It's mostly that it's worse than the other similarly priced options. So a good way to think about Electrolyze is that Electrolyze Bone Crusher Giant is an Electrolyze that always draws a 4/3. I think is the best way to think about why Electrolyze isn't good enough. Especially with the addition of K-Command into the format too, you'd much rather just be playing K-Command or Prismari Command or Bone Crusher, depending on what your deck is looking to do.
Perish.
Yes, yeah, and Stomp only costs 2 is big true. I think I'm supposed to kill this.
I have other schemes to attend to.
I'm playing that land out because they have a lot of things like Nikki B and Croxa that make me discard cards. I want to have my 7th land in play in case we spike an Elesh Norn. Alright, second verse, same as the first. A little bit louder and a whole lot worse.
Your existence is pointless.
Shifty boy up in your base. Shooting rockets in your face. Nice. Yeah, yes, randomly hosing Fog. Fog is nice as well. Not using Elesh there is a crime. Sorry, my queen. Wrong lethal. Chat is so upset that I didn't use Elesh for lethal. I apologize, chat. Yeah, I think I like the conclusion that we probably give up all the Calls the Dead. They were kind of whatever. Murderous Rider really kind of getting to flex and show it's worthwhile there. Makes us a little bit more interactive here too. I like going up a Thragtusk as well. Again, like Grisly Salvage, 5 cards is so many cards to look at, and having 6 different kind of interactive creatures to pull from felt very reasonable. Angel of Sanctions felt decent at 2 copies. I don't think I'd play more, but having these to kind of floop into on occasion for a little bit more utility out of the graveyard felt reasonable. I think I'd keep Stitcher's Supplier in here. The fact that we don't have Faithless Looting as a cheap way to put things into the graveyard makes this a little bit better. And then the thing I was doing in most of our post-board games is I was just boarding this out, you know? It basically lets us have more linear access to our graveyard stuff game 1, and then post-board we become a little bit slower, more deliberate, can board in things like Shifting Ceratops or removal spells depending on what the matchup looks like, and get rid of this more graveyard-centric strategy. It's also kind of nice in a way to be less graveyard-focused post-board, because the post-board games are where your opponent's going to be boarding in cards like Thoughtseize, or not Thoughtseize, Rest in Peace, and Relic of Progenitus, and those other things that penalize you for using the graveyard. So leaning on it a little bit less is nice in the post-board games. So yeah, I think this is about where we end up. I think this seems very reasonable, Bob. I don't know offhand if giving up the red from the 4-color build that we played yesterday is good, and that's not a question you can just answer offhand. I don't think the number of repetitions. I definitely only playing the 4-color build for 2 hours yesterday. The mana was good to us for those 2 hours, but you know, larger sample sizes are better, and it would take me. The consistency in this build was nice, even if the other build didn't necessarily feel bad in the games we played yesterday. All right,